Welcome to the Health Channel. Welcome to the Health Channel, all health, all the time. I'm Dr. Derek Papp, an orthopedic and sports medicine surgeon with the Miami Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute. Today I'm joined by Unni Greene, a personal trainer and nutritionist with SoMe Fitness. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Papp. It's so nice to be here again.
It's great having you back. You're one of my favorite guests because you bring food.
I do.
So today we're going to be talking about different kinds of foods and different kinds of diets. You know, one of the things we're going to talk about is like the keto diet, plant-based diets, and intermittent fasting.
Yes.
But before we get into that, tell us a little bit about yourself and your goal and your mission.
So, as you may remember, I started early on as a semi-professional figure skater in Sweden, and I learned early on the value of exercise and nutrition. And as I moved to the United States, I noticed that people would ask me questions based upon my appearance, and I looked healthy and fit.
Yeah.
And I realized, you know, this is my passion, so
Sure.
I decided to make it my life's work.
No, I think it's great, and I think you do a really good job. Just to give our audience an idea of you and your business, tell us a little bit about your clients and the type of people that you work with.
You know, we're very fortunate. I work with every type of person and from every walk of life. So I work with moms and dads. I work with their kids. I work with actually professional athletes, boxers, baseball players, collegiate athletes. A lot of people come to me because I do nutrition and exercise. So I will work them out and I will give them a proper diet, which allows me to be, you know, very varied in my approach.
Yeah.
And so I've been fortunate to attract a lot of different people.
No, I think that's fantastic. So we're going to be talking about a number of different kinds of diets today. Overall, why do you think that your clients come to you and want to change their diet?
Most people come because they want to lose some weight. Okay. So that's the general approach. Some people will come because they've had bad news from their doctor.
Yeah.
So you go to the doctor and they say, look, you're getting pre-diabetic, you need to do diet and exercise.
Sure.
And they'll come to me. A lot of people have a lot of information and they're kind of lost, so they need professional guidance. And so we provide that for them. But overall, I think most people just want to look and feel better.
Yeah. No, I think that's true. I think for a lot of my patients, they want to be able to talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about, because it can be hard to diet and actually give up give up certain kinds of foods or amounts of food. So it's it's just a difficult thing. You know, when it comes to sticking to a new diet, it's hard. What do you think are some of the reasons for that, or the most common reasons that you have to deal with?
So you know how we hate change.
Yeah.
Okay, so that goes for everything. So we try and we recognize that we need to change, but the subconscious plays a huge role. So you might not even be noticing the signals that your body is sending you, and you're just not really able to change for a long term to reach the goal that you need to do.
Yeah. Do you think that dieting is an individualized thing, or is it something that one size fits all?
Absolutely individualized. Every single person has different needs. You know, it depends on your activity level, your age, your gender, how much exercise you're doing, where you're starting. A lot of people can't start out at a high level, so you have to kind of ease them into it. I'm a big believer and proponent of doing small changes at a time and not overwhelming your system with too much of everything at once.
Okay. Well, talking a little bit about how to actually achieve these goals, when it comes to weight loss specifically, how much should we be counting our calories? How important is that?
So it is important, but we also have to look at the quality of the calories and the composition of our meals. Calories have to be lower in terms of creating a deficit to actually lose weight.
Okay.
So you want to eat less than you're burning.
Sure.
But that being said, if you're only eating poor quality calories or at the wrong time or not timing them around your workouts, you're still not going to be able to get the results you want.
I think that's important. One of the things that we would talk about in college, I ran cross country, and so it was kind of a little bit of a different atmosphere. But you wanted to see how much fuel you had to put in the furnace to actually go, and so it made a difference if you're running 10 miles a day versus not running 10 miles a day. You know, it actually
Absolutely.
Right. You want to not put too much food or too much fuel into the furnace if you're not going to burn it off, right?
Absolutely. So that's a very individual approach, and you know, that's how we help people. We can really now determine how much you actually need and when you need it.
Sure.
Scientifically. So that's very helpful.
Now, so when we talk about the different kinds of diets this hour, there are different macronutrients that we're going to talk about, and I think you have some examples of these for the audience. But can you take us through these? Like, what are macronutrients, and what are the different groups that we're going to be talking about?
Absolutely. So we have carbohydrates, we have proteins and fats. I have some samples here, but basically the protein is the building block of muscle cells, skeleton, tissue, and it helps us build and regenerate these tissues and organs. We have actually carbs here, and everybody loves carbs.
Yes.
And carbs provide the energy that we need. It's a great source of energy for us. Converts to glucose in the body, which we utilize for energy. And fats, contrary to popular belief, is not the devil. We do need healthy fats because it provides us with essential fatty acids, which the body cannot make. And we need those to help us break down fat-soluble vitamins and get other effects that help our body functions.
Do fats actually decrease your appetite? Like, I've heard that before.
Yes, and you're right, because it takes a long time for our body to digest fat. So if you're eating enough fat, and not too much because they're calorie dense, you will feel fuller longer.
I think that's great.
Yes.
I do want to take a time to review our phone number for the viewers. It's 855-796-4475. So let's get into the first diet we're going to talk about today, the keto diet.
Yes.
Can you explain that to us? Like, what is a ketogenic diet? What does it entail, and why is it becoming popular?
So I think it's becoming popular because on the social media, it's being really talked about, and people are having great results.
Yeah.
Now, you have to keep in mind that it is initially started as a sort of an extreme diet for health reasons, and people are now adapting that diet into regular lifestyle. I do believe that it has a place, and it can be extremely helpful, but there are some issues with that diet.
Let's just pause for a second. We actually have a viewer, Jenny from Coral Gables. Jenny, do you have a question for us? Oh, there must be. Are you there? I think there might be something wrong with the line. Let's see. Hopefully we can get her back, but let's talk about the ketogenic diet in the meantime.
So, you know, it's interesting because we know what the ketogenic diet is not. So a lot of people say, oh, I'm on a keto diet, but they're really not, because high protein and low carb is not ketogenic. And that's a big distinction. A true ketogenic diet is actually a very moderate amount of protein, but very high fat.
Okay.
So that's the difference there. So you want to get about 65% of your energy from fat, and about 10 to 15% from protein, and 10% from carbohydrates.
That's actually kind of amazing. I never really thought of it like that.
Exactly.
You know?
So that's one of the distinctions that we as professionals try to make and people understand, because high protein is totally different, really, than ketogenic.
Than a real keto diet.
Yes.
Do you? Are there differences in terms of like long-term outcomes if you're on a ketogenic diet versus, let's say, you're on a high-protein diet? I mean, because functionally, isn't the principle similar in that you're trying to increase, to stay in ketosis, right?
Yes, and so ketosis is the goal, and what it does is it helps you utilize ketones, which are excreted by the liver when you run out of glucose and glycogen in your body.
Just for the viewers,
these are big words here.
Big words that I don't even understand, but
So ketones are produced by the liver in lieu of glucose or glycogen.
So if you're not eating a lot of glucose, if you're not eating carbs, it puts you into ketosis.
Exactly. Ketosis is the state where you're actually using lipids, fat, to convert into energy. So you're completely bypassing the glucose pathway. This can be very, very helpful for many reasons, even for athletes.
Sure.
But especially for people who have, early onset diabetes, cognitive disease, believe it or not, stroke.
Let's pause for a second. I think hopefully we have Jenny back on the line. This is Jenny from Coral Gables. Hi.
Hi. I have a question for Unni. How do I know if something is part of a vegan diet?
How do you know if a vegan diet is a vegan diet? Is that what you asked me, Jenny?
Yeah, if something's part of a vegan diet, like if hummus, for example, would be incorporated into a vegan diet?
So that is a great question. Vegan diet means totally void of animal products. So hummus, for example, would be part of a vegan diet as long as it doesn't have additives that are animal derived, such as flavoring, beef flavoring, or some other type of animal product. But in general, vegan diet would include a hummus. It's a plant-based diet, basically.
But just for myself, so you can't add butter or whatever. Thank you for calling in, Jenny. Really appreciate it. We do have to cut to break. You know, one of the other popular diets that we want to talk about is a plant-based diet. There are a lot of benefits to this, both for your health and for the environment. And we'll talk more about that after we return. You're watching the Health Channel, all health, all the time on South Florida PBS. If you have a question for Unni or myself, please call in using the toll-free number 855-796-4475. And please be sure to visit our website, allhealthtv.com, where you can watch a live stream of the Health Channel and watch videos from previous episodes. We'll be right back.
This is my kind of happy hour.
This is my kind of fast lane.
This is my kind of personal trainer.
My kind of joyride.
My kind of nightlife.
Whether you're just finding your stride or making the golden years look good, Florida Blue goes beyond health insurance, investing in the health and communities of all Floridians. So you can feel good saying, that's my kind of blue.
This is my kind of blue.
This is my kind of blue.
This is my kind of blue.
C stands for courage, collaboration, compassion, and sometimes even cuddly. At Miami Cancer Institute, C also stands for cure, world-class cancer care right here at home. Learn more at miamicancerinstitute.com.
I just need a second.
Is your weight holding you back and affecting your health?
Did you see this? Your cousin had a heart attack.
Really?
Excess weight or obesity can be serious, but you can do something about it. Visit yourweightmatters.org. Download the free toolkit to prepare you to speak with a healthcare provider. Your weight does matter. Accept the challenge and take charge today. Visit yourweightmatters.org.
Welcome back to the Health Channel, all health, all the time. I'm Dr. Derek Papp, an orthopedic and sports medicine surgeon with the Miami Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute. Today I'm joined by Unni Greene, a personal trainer and nutritionist. If you have a question for us, please call in using the toll-free number 855-796-4475. You know, during this segment, we're going to be talking about plant-based diets and vegan diets. And before we really get into that, we actually have a caller who has a question about that. Billy from Miami. Thanks for calling.
Hello?
Hello. Thanks for
how
calling.
you doing, guys?
Yeah.
Good question. Now, what's the best plant foods for athletes, and how do I get a good source of protein, iron, calcium, B12 on a vegan diet?
Okay, that's a great question. Unni.
That's a very comprehensive question. So you can definitely get enough protein on a plant-based diet. You just have to be careful what you're eating. So a lot of foods have protein. Even plant-based vegetables have protein. You have nuts, you have seeds. You have now great foods that are made out of vegetables that are called textured vegetable proteins, and they also have great sources of protein. You have legumes like lentils, beans. If you combine all these foods into your daily intake, you will create complete amino acids. And another misconception is that you need a lot of protein. And as an athlete, you do. You need more than the generally sedentary person, but you don't need as much as we previously thought you did. So you will be able to meet easily your protein needs. You have to think about athletes such as Olympian Carl Lewis, who was a 9-time Olympian. He was a complete vegan. Tom Brady is going plant-based, and we attribute his longevity and his success on the field with such a clean eating pattern, which helps him regenerate and keeps his cells youthful and strong. He's actually creating a plant-based protein just because he feels so good on a vegan diet. So you can do it. Now, the one question that you had about B12 is very relevant. B12 is not really found in the plant world, so you do have to either supplement it or eat fortified foods that contain B12.
Okay. Well, Billy, thank you so much for calling. We really appreciate it. Just to get things kind of right in my mind, what's the difference between a vegan diet and a plant-based diet?
Yeah, that's a good question. So plant-based means that at least 70% of your food intake is from the plant world.
Okay.
A vegan diet is completely devoid of animal products. So you would not eat dairy, you would not eat eggs, you would not eat any meat, fish, no animal products. But plant-based is, you know, what it suggests. It's based on plants, but there are some leeway for you to add some animal products.
Okay. Well, I think we do have a graphic that we can share with the viewers. Can you take us through this? These are the different kind of health benefits that you get from using a plant-based diet.
Absolutely. So why does it control weight? Because generally speaking, vegetables are low calorie. So if you're eating a lot of vegetables, you're going to naturally reduce your caloric intake. It improves heart health because it has less burden on your cardiovascular system. There's less trans fats, saturated fats, so very important for your heart health. I mean, studies are overwhelming in terms of your longevity and your heart health and cardiovascular health on a plant-based diet. It decreases diabetes symptoms because it stabilizes your blood sugar. It has a lot of fiber, so that mitigates the spike in insulin. So that's very important for diabetics. Anti-inflammatory components, I love this part. I mean, it is truly anti-inflammatory because you're eating things straight out of the earth. A lot of plant-based diets are whole foods diets where you're not eating prepackaged foods, and it does help with inflammation. And antioxidants are rampant in fruits and vegetables and from the vegetable world, so you're getting a lot of antioxidants, and that helps you stay younger longer.
Oh, that's great. You know, we do have a short video from Baptist Health South Florida on some of the tips for eating a plant-based diet. Take a look.
One of the best ways to reduce inflammation in our body is by the foods that we eat. So one of the things that causes inflammation is processed foods, foods that are high in fats, foods that are high in sugars, for example. We're on the road a lot. We're trying to find that quick and convenience food, so foods that have been sitting on the shelves for a long time, things that are packaged and ready to eat. So instead, we want to try to bring back the plant-based foods, foods that are naturally found in the environment. They give you oxygen, so they reduce those free radicals. They're high in antioxidants, so they're full of vitamins and minerals that are very important to fight off that inflammation state that can occur in the body. The best way to get in those plant-based diets is, and especially when you're going shopping, is to stick to the perimeter of the store. Shop around the edges and avoid all that stuff in the middle where it's all the processed packaged foods that are ready to eat. And the best way to make sure that you're using your fruits and vegetables so that they don't go bad is planning your week's menu options of what you're going to be cooking and using the things that are going to go bad first so that you don't have a lot of waste at the end of the week.
Remember, if you have a question for us this hour, you can call in using the toll-free number 855-796-4475. You know, and speaking of callers, you know, Rick from Miami is calling us now. He has a question for us. Rick, are you there?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, thanks for calling.
Hi. So my question is, I tried the vegan diet once, and I gained way too much weight. It just made me really bloated. I think I was eating way too many carbs. How can I make sure it doesn't happen again? What can I eat?
So that's a great question. There are a lot of carbs on a vegan diet, but you have to look at the actual carb you're eating. You don't want to eat too many starches. That's where you will gain weight. So you want to eat the watery carbs, the fibrous carbs, the lettuces, the green vegetables, the fruits. That should help a lot because vegan doesn't necessarily mean healthy. So you have to look at the source of the vegan. You know, you could be drinking beer and eating potato chips. That's vegan, but it's not going to help you lose weight. So you still have to look at the composition of your food and the caloric intake.
No. Rick, thanks so much for calling. Appreciate it. Unni, that's a great point. So why is diversity important when you're eating, especially when you're eating a plant-based diet?
Well, first of all, because you want to make sure that you're not running into a nutritional deficiency. So diversity in any diet is really important. You never want to just exclude entire food groups. Yeah. So yes, starches are caloric, but you need to include them. You need the fiber, you need the slow-burning carbs. And in terms of vegan, sometimes people get a little overwhelmed and they say, oh, I know this is vegan, that's vegan, so I'm only going to eat that. But it leads to nutritional deficiencies, sometimes lack of calcium because we're not eating dairy, and also the B12 that we spoke on earlier. So we have to make sure that we're getting a varied diet.
But do you think that people can lose weight on a vegan diet if they choose?
I do. If you're loading your plate with green vegetables and you're eating small amounts of nuts and seeds and healthy fats, you definitely, and I've seen it in my practice, people feel better and they definitely report losing weight.
Okay. Is part of that because you think that, I mean, plant-based foods are lower in calories, right?
Exactly.
In general.
Yes, they are. And they're just more filling because they have a higher water content, higher fiber content. So you feel satiated. So that's how you get away with eating more but less calories.
Okay. And then when it comes to exercise, would somebody who is on a plant-based or vegan diet, do they have to train differently, or what do they have to do?
Yeah, so that's a great question. People can actually train the same way, and I have vegan clients. The training remains the same. What really changes is your attention to providing your body with protein at the right time. So a lot of athletes that are vegan will do a plant-based protein powder. Okay. I was a vegan 30 years ago, and the products were not available, so it was a lot more difficult. Okay. But because it's so popular now, there's a plethora of new products on the market, and they're all really tasty and helpful.
What are their sources of protein? Like where do plant-based protein powders get their? So
the vegetables actually have protein. So when you crystallize them and put them into a powder, you're getting a lot of protein from pea, hemp, non-animal sources that help you meet your daily needs. A lot of protein powders now have 20 to 30 grams of protein.
Okay. Do you have to go 100% protein or like plant-based to actually see benefits, or no?
No.
Okay.
So there's a tremendous amount of studies out now, and just eating a 70% plant-based diet will reduce your cardiovascular disease risk by 20%. That's a big number.
One of the things that I find difficult is sometimes eating healthy is perhaps more expensive. Do you think that being on a plant-based diet, is that expensive for people, or is it something that can be done in a more cost-effective manner?
I think it's actually more cost-effective. If you shop local farmers markets and you're buying vegetables, you're actually getting full on a lot less money. Meat and fish seems to be, generally speaking, more expensive.
Okay.
So I think you can actually save money by going vegan.
On a social media note, there's a lot of talk about the environmental friendliness of a plant-based diet. Can you talk a little bit about that to us, Unni?
Absolutely. So this is a very important factor for many young people. My daughter herself is a vegan, and it saves water, it saves land use, it reduces emissions, greenhouse effect is mitigated, we're saving livestock. It's actually long-term going to be the best solution for feeding our growing population.
Okay. Well, we do have to take a break, but we want to touch on a couple more diets after the break, like the intermittent fasting, paleo diet, and the Whole30 diet, which I don't know much about. You're watching the Health Channel, all health, all the time on South Florida PBS. If you have a question for us, please feel free to call in using the toll-free number 855-796-4475. And please be sure to visit our website, allhealthtv.com, where you can watch a live stream of the Health Channel and watch videos from previous episodes. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, this is Gavin DeGraw. I've seen firsthand the effects of pancreatic cancer. My mother, who was considered very healthy, is diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. I first heard about Lustgarten right after my mother was diagnosed. It's a great organization. 100% of the money goes specifically to cancer research. They know what they're doing. They really can help. I encourage everybody to get involved with the Lustgarten Foundation.
There's a better way. With Baptist Healthcare on Demand, you can see a Baptist physician from any mobile device or PC anytime from anywhere.
How can I help you today?
Oh, hi. Go to baptisthealth.net/care on demand to enroll for free today.
I am a father and a husband. I'm a professional golfer. I am a colon cancer survivor. And I fight because I want people to survive what they're going through and live long, happy lives. It's the second leading cause of death of any cancer. Probably something most folks don't know. But it's also one of the most treatable forms of cancer. So you can prevent this by proactively doing things about it. And many times you're going to find out that it's a lifesaver to do that.
Heiny, tushy, badunkadunk, call it
what you want, but talk to your doctor, because the American Cancer Society says colon cancer is a leading cause of cancer deaths in the U.S. I was diagnosed with colon cancer, but I might have avoided it completely if I just had my keister checked. So get off those juicy doubles and go get your rump shaker screened so you can say you literally saved your own ass. Can we change padonkadonk?
Welcome back to the Health Channel, all health, all the time. I'm Dr. Derek Papp, an orthopedic and sports medicine surgeon with the Miami Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute. Today, I'm joined by Unni Greene, a nutritionist and personal trainer with Somi Fitness. If you have a question for either of us, please call in using the toll-free number 855-796-4475. You know, Unni, I'm actually excited you're here today to talk about this, because one of the things that has been talked about more and more is intermittent fasting.
Yes.
Can you please tell us a little bit about intermittent fasting and how that can help our viewers and people like me?
So it's becoming increasingly popular, and I think a lot of people are throwing themselves into it, really not knowing what's going on. The premise is that you're eating, and I like to call it intermittent eating, because you're really eating in a short window of time. And that's the whole premise, is that you're not eating and letting your body rest for about 16 hours, and then you're eating for about 8 hours. That's the most popular method.
Let me pause for a second. We have a caller, Maria from Kendall. Maria, thanks for calling.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I'm wondering, what suggestions does she or the doctor have for cancer patients who are undergoing either chemo or immunotherapy to keep our strength up? And also, I've lost a lot of muscle with all the treatments. Does she have any suggestions as to what kind of strength exercises we can do that are not too difficult or too strenuous, that we can start doing to get some of our muscle back?
Sure, no problem.
So Maria, congratulations on feeling better and wanting to work out. Your diet, intermittent fasting is appropriate. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're getting enough calories to sustain recovery and to create new muscle growth. So you want to look at things, lean proteins and healthy fats, and generally speaking, a healthy diet, and concentrating those in that time frame of eating. In terms of exercises, I would actually start with resistant bands. So you're not stressing your body too much, because you have been through a lot, and you want to go step by step and creating a program that doesn't tax you too much. And then as you get stronger, you can move up to smaller hand weights and doing basic movements such as bicep curls, maybe some chair squats, nothing too crazy, but just getting to feel your body and growing strength and feeling better again.
I think that's great. Maria, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it. Good luck. So I actually have a question. You know, just for a second, when it comes to intermittent fasting, is that something that somebody with cancer should do? Like, do you think that's wise?
It can be a little tricky, and you definitely don't want to do it without medical supervision.
Okay.
Yes.
And then my own personal question is, you know, you look at different kinds of diets, and one of them is intermittent fasting. Another thing that people talk about, and that there's research on, is that people who eat breakfast actually have better results when they diet. How do you kind of talk about that, and is that...
That's been spoken a lot about in the past, because now we're saying, okay, you shouldn't eat breakfast, you should go straight into lunch. So there's two schools of thought. Breakfast was always deemed to be the most important meal, but as we are emerging with research, we are seeing other benefits.
Okay.
We're not just looking at metabolism getting fired up at breakfast. We're looking at growth hormone being released, other beneficial things happening in the body when you're fasting, and it actually does prolong life for some people.
Okay.
Just the actual calorie restriction.
Sure. Well, I work with the Baltimore Orioles, and our team chiropractor and his son, they swear by intermittent fasting, and they think that it makes them feel better and that they've done well in terms of weight loss and actually keeping it off. So it's something that I always talk about, because again, when you look at some of the literature that comes out in medical stuff, it says that, you know, it's better to eat breakfast. So I think it's a very interesting question. We do have a graphic that we want to talk about a little bit with the different kinds of methods to dieting. Can you take us through this? These are the different kinds of intermittent fasting methods.
Yes. So the 16-8 method is what we talked about, and it's the most common method. It's you're fasting for 16 hours, and then you eat within a time period of 8. And a lot of people do this. It doesn't. It's not as hard as it sounds because you're sleeping most of the 16 hours.
Sure.
The eat, stop, eat means that you're eating for 24 hours, then you fast for 24 hours, then you eat again, and then you are fasting. So the key thing there is that you're completely not eating or fasting for 24 hours twice a week.
Oh, wow.
So that's hard for a lot of people. And then the 5-2 diet is you're actually consuming regular meals on 5 days of the week, and 2 days of the week you're lowering your caloric intake to about 500 to 600 calories.
Okay.
Which some people...
That can be hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, Unni, we want to shift gears a little bit and talk about the paleo diet. But for our viewers, remember, if you have a question this hour, please call in using the toll-free number 855-796-4475. So again, talking about the paleo diet. What is the paleo diet and what do I eat with that?
Okay, so paleo was really popularized by the CrossFit.
Yes. Okay.
So it became popular again. So cavemen were eating this diet apparently, and that's based on the premise of us eating things from the earth except grains, legumes, beans. Paleo does allow for natural sweeteners and some alcohol in limitation. But it's basically a whole food, clean diet, nothing processed.
Okay.
And you're not necessarily counting calories.
Okay. Are there any downsides to this diet?
Yes, because of what I just mentioned, you're not necessarily counting calories. So a lot of people overconsume fats and protein, which actually can be detrimental to your health.
Okay. No, I think that's...
And your weight.
That makes total sense. One of the things that we were talking about a little bit before that I know nothing about is there's a newer diet trend that's called the Whole30. Can you explain that to us? Like, what does that mean and how is that different than the paleo diet?
So the Whole30 is an elimination diet.
Okay.
It is a short-term diet. The 30 is based on doing it for 30 days. This is not a diet that we recommend people being on long-term. You will eliminate the same things as you do with paleo and further eliminate all alcohol and all sweeteners, artificial or natural sweeteners. So it's even more restrictive. The benefit of the Whole30 is that a lot of people can identify their food intolerances, and they actually reduce inflammation because you're removing everything basically that can create inflammation. And then you slowly add back these foods one at a time, and you can actually learn a lot about what you can tolerate and how you feel when you're eating certain things.
Okay. I mean, that sounds pretty extreme, right?
It's very difficult. Most people cannot achieve 30 days, and you can't cheat. If you cheat one time, you got to start all over again.
Oh, wow.
So it's hard.
Yeah. And so, but you are allowed to eat certain kinds of carbs, right?
You definitely are. Complex carbohydrates, legumes, vegetables, clean, lean protein, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So for our viewers, how do they know what's the best diet for them? How do you determine that?
So I get that question all the time. What's the best diet? What do you recommend? I think the best diet for anybody is a diet that you can follow.
Okay.
If you can follow the diet, you have to look at your lifestyle, at your age, your gender, your activity level. There's so many variables that need to fit into the diet. No diet is going to be good unless you can follow it. So, from my perspective, the best diet is a modest amount of high-quality protein, a large amount of green vegetables, fruits, a healthy amount of fat, and I don't like sugar.
No.
So that's definitely out.
Yeah.
And enjoy a glass of wine here and there, and that's about it.
Okay. Well, we have a video coming up that shows Candace and James, a young couple who made small little changes to their diet to help keep their family growing healthy. Let's take a look.
We try to leave the house by 8 o'clock.
Don't tell us.
so we can get to work on time.
This all looks really good. I really like living in this type of environment where it's like city is downtown, but where we live is quiet. What's the deal with yellow raspberries? I've never seen yellow raspberries before. I'm 38 weeks pregnant. His name's gonna be Emery.
Oh, do you want to try one, Lincoln? So with the new baby coming, there's going to be a little bit of a change happening. So
A dance.
yeah.
So cool.
Lincoln definitely knows there is
a baby.
There is a baby.
So it's nice and clean? Trying to find ways to get my son to be interested in healthy food and not name it good or bad. I know that just as much as we want him to do it, we have to model what we want. Good job. Try again. If I weren't spontaneous, we might not ever do anything. And if he weren't a planner, we might get lost.
So that you don't have to really do anything. And we can just put it in the freezer. When I plan, it takes away the stress. Lincoln, do you like the applesauce? We handle grocery shopping by actually making a list. It's an app on the phone that if Candace is here and I'm at the grocery store, she can update it and I see what's on there.
Our supermarket is really good for like meat in bulk and things in bulk. And so we might just prepare the chicken so that it's kind of seasoned and everything. And so that might be raw but seasoned. And so it's spending the whole day marinating in the fridge. And then you just put it in the oven.
Preparing it makes my week a little easier.
Lincoln, right now he's a toddler, and toddlers are notoriously picky eaters. So he's just like, I'm not into the vegetables right now. So James, you gonna make some shakes for tomorrow?
You can put anything that you want in the shake, and as long as it tastes good, so I'll add a little yogurt to it, and then you can add some spinach, you can add strawberries or whatever it is. As long as it tastes good to him, he'll eat it. So we get him his vegetables that way. You have some for tomorrow morning.
Oh,
That's fantastic.
When I get hungry and I'm not prepared, I make bad decisions.
That's what I would say, having stuff accessible.
And clean and ready, right? Like, I've been in situations where the bag of grapes is in the fridge, but it still feels like it's too hard. If the setup is there for you, then your split-second decisions are still good.
Because I've seen it with Lincoln where there'll be cookies on the table and fruit right next to it.
You want a banana?
He'll always go for the cookies. But if the cookies aren't there, then he'll ask for a banana.
I think that was a great video. Unni, what are your thoughts about meal prepping? Do you think that's important?
Absolutely. I love meal prepping, and we do it ourselves.
Yeah.
If you fail to prepare, you must prepare to fail, because it is too haphazard to not have food and bring it with you. We do meal prep every Sunday.
All right.
And my competitors definitely do. They don't go anywhere without their food.
No, I think that's great. And, you know, just one last thing. Like, when it comes to, like, eating out, how do you make healthy choices? Or can you?
Yes, you can. So, you know, you'd be surprised how many health-conscious restaurants are popping up everywhere. People are much more conscious. You want to stay away from the bread basket. You want to skip dessert. You want to order close to what you would be eating at home.
Sure.
Skip the sauces, the heavy dressings, and just get them on the side and dabble a little bit. But you can eat healthy, reasonably healthy out.
Okay, no, that's great. You know, coming up next, we're going to talk about a couple other diet tips, including supplements that you should and shouldn't take. You're watching the Health Channel, all health, all the time on South Florida PBS. If you have a question for Unni or myself, please call in using the toll-free number 855-796-4475. And please be sure to visit our website, allhealthtv.com, where you can watch a live stream of the Health Channel and watch videos from previous episodes. We'll be right back.
The day of my stroke started off at the office. I did get my blood pressure checked that day because I felt a little off, and it got worse, and I knew something was wrong. They put me in the back of the truck, and that's when I heard the transmission of white male stroke victim. I thought there was a good chance I was gonna be dead by the time I got there. They took me to the Miami Cardiac and Vascular Institute, constantly reassuring me that I was being taken care of and I was in good hands. The message I would tell people about their heart and their body in general is definitely see a doctor, have a primary that can detect things early. A big milestone that I have achieved after the stroke is completing 25 years with the Miami-Dade Police Department.
A brain aneurysm doesn't care if you're busy. It doesn't care that you have important meetings. It doesn't care that you have to drop your daughter off at ballet and your son off at soccer practice. And if you ignore the warning signs of a brain aneurysm, you'll realize too late that the meeting wasn't that important. No meeting is. That you'll never see another soccer game, and that your daughter won't see you in the audience at the big recital. So if you suddenly experience the worst headache of your life, sharp pain behind your eye, and blurry vision, don't ignore it. Seek immediate emergency care, because your family is counting on you to take care of you. The Lisa Calagrassi Foundation, shedding light on brain aneurysms. Learn more at lisafoundation.org.
This is My Kind of Happy Hour.
My kind of joyride. My kind of nightlife. Whether you're just finding your stride or making the golden years look good, Florida Blue goes beyond health insurance, investing in the health and communities of all Floridians, so you can feel good saying, that's my kind of blue.
This is my kind of blue.
This is my kind of blue.
This is my kind of blue.
I am thankful that I'm here today. I think routine checkups are very important because if you do have factors as high cholesterol or high blood pressure, those are factors that can contribute to a heart attack. Miami Cardiac and Vascular Institute saved my life.
Is your weight getting in the way of daily tasks? Does life just seem harder and harder? Health risks from excess weight or obesity can be serious.
We've tried to make changes to lose weight.
We're just getting older.
It's more than that. I know what we can do.
Visit yourweightmatters.org for free resources to help you prepare to meet with your healthcare provider or easily find a provider. Your weight does matter. Visit yourweightmatters.org and start improving your health today.
Welcome back to the Health Channel, all health, all the time. I'm Dr. Derek Papp, an orthopedic and sports medicine surgeon with the Miami Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute. Today, I'm joined by Unni Greene, a nutritionist and personal trainer with Somi Fitness. If you have a question for either of us, please call in using the toll-free number 855-796-4475. So from vitamins to herbal remedies, many people turn to supplements to enhance whatever they're trying to do with their diet. Unni, what kind of supplements should people take?
Again, it's a very individual basis. I don't like people to take too many supplements. It's a very unregulated industry, as you know, so you have to be cautious. I do recommend L-carnitine for fat loss. It's a natural substance that's an amino acid that's found in the body. It helps transport fat into the bloodstream. So if you're active, you utilize fat instead of glucose. So that helps fat loss.
No, I think that's great. You know, we actually have another caller, Joaquin from, I think, was it Miami? Yeah, Miami. What's your question? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, hi. So my daughter has been vegetarian for over a year now, and just recently she decided to go vegan. And obviously, there's a concern with her no longer getting her protein from the eggs, and obviously cutting out all the dairy. Whether she's going to have struggle with proper nutrition, having cut out where I thought most of her protein was coming from, which was eggs.
Okay. Well, Unni, do you mind?
No, absolutely. So I get this question a lot because eggs are so easy to make. There are other plant-based protein sources that we can add instead of eggs. And as we said before, you can definitely eat nut butters. There's many now non-dairy yogurts that you can have for breakfast, because I know a lot of people struggle with breakfast. So I recommend looking into those and added some chopped nuts, some cinnamon. Also keep in mind, Joaquin, that you don't need as much protein as media has us believe that we do. A woman today, the average woman weighing about 120 pounds only needs about 44 grams of protein. It's not that hard to find that in your food without eating animal products. So don't worry too much. Just make sure she's getting that B12.
Yeah. Thank you so much for calling, Joaquin. We really appreciate the phone call. You know, I want to change gears just a little bit. Let's start talking about supplements and vitamins again. You know, are there any vitamins you can take too much of?
Absolutely. Fat-soluble vitamins are toxic when taken in large amounts, and they stay in the body in your adipose tissue in your fat.
Okay.
So these are A, D, E, and K. You want to make sure that you're not overdoing it with those.
Okay.
Other vitamins are water-soluble, and if you're not utilizing them, you're going to get them out when you go to the bathroom.
So like vitamin C is one of those, right?
Yes.
Do you think that people should be taking vitamin C?
I do. I love vitamin C. It's a great antioxidant. It protects your immune system. It's been proven to have so many benefits. I take vitamin C daily. I also take vitamin D, and I recommend it to most people. 80%
I was
of
going to
Americans.
ask, vitamin D.
Yes. 80% of Americans are vitamin D deficient. Sure. And why is that? Because vitamin D is synthesized from sun exposure in the skin. And a lot of us now, because of what we know about skin cancer, we're not going out in the sun, or we're using a lot of sunscreen. So we're definitely not getting enough sun exposure, and we don't have enough vitamin D, and it's really important. It actually helps with fat loss in terms of energy production and regulation of our metabolism. So we want to do vitamin D.
How much vitamin D do you take?
I take.
Which I think is an interesting question, because people go all over the map.
You can do about 800 micrograms a day.
Okay.
But again, this is something that you can easily check with your doctor, because the blood test will tell you exactly what you need, and you want to be careful again with taking too much.
Because you do see, you know, capsules that are 5,000 units, right?
Yes.
Like those exist.
Yes. But again, that is a fat-soluble vitamin, so you got to be cautious.
No, I think that's very important for the viewers to know that.
Yes.
What about omega-3 or fish oil? Do you think that that's something that people should be taking?
So it's funny, because there are studies back and forth. I believe that fish oils can be very beneficial, especially if you don't eat fish.
Okay.
Fish oils are phenomenal in terms of anti-inflammation properties. They are as effective as an Advil, which is hard to believe, and they're not toxic. They help your cardiovascular system by protecting your arteries and keeping them supple. There's so many benefits, even reducing blood lipid levels, and thereby assisting with type 2 diabetes. Okay. So fish oils are great.
That's great. You know, let's first talk about multivitamins. You think everyone should take a multi?
I don't.
Okay.
And I might be a rare nutritionist in that form, but I think that there's too much of a good thing.
Okay.
If you're eating a varied, complete diet, you do not need a multivitamin. If you're under eating, or you're under severe stress, or have certain issues, you must take, obviously, a multivitamin. But in general, get a blood test, see what you're deficient in, and only address those micronutrients that you really need.
Well, we talked a little bit about L-carnitine. Is there a special vitamin or supplement that people can take and magically lose weight?
No. That's a short answer. I wish.
No.
No.
I think that's fair. I do want to take a moment here. I want to plug. Unni wrote a book.
Oh, thank you.
And it's a fantastic book. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Of course. I wrote this book because so many people have the same questions, things that we just discussed, and it's sort of a roadmap for health. There's 2 diets in there, because people, even if you give them the information, they still don't know, what do I eat specifically?
Sure.
So it talks a little bit about hormones, which are very important in terms of how you feel and how you metabolize food. It talks about exercise. I have 5 different exercise programs completely illustrated. It's sort of like nutrition for dummies. Okay. I wanted to make it simple. You know, there's too much information, and it's very overwhelming, even for us. We get bombarded every day with new research, new information, and it's questionable. So what do you really believe in? I kind of narrowed it down and made it as simple and as easy to process as possible, and you can put that in your purse or pocketbook, and there you go. You have it all right there.
So I do have another question about the book. Are there recipes for the food that you make? 'Cause you make these awesome sweets and brownies that are actually pretty much sugar-free. Like, can you show us those?
Absolutely. So this is one of them. Dr. Papp actually asked me to bring some because he had them.
They're awesome.
Yes, I do make these because, you know, everybody wants a sweet here and there. We do.
Yeah.
We crave them, but these have absolutely no added sugar. They're high in protein, low in carbs, so they work into a healthy, fit lifestyle. You can eat them after workout or as a treat or as breakfast. I mean, they're very well adapted to put in your pocket and just enjoy whenever. I made these because basically I believe that added sugar is the devil. You know,
Sure.
I just don't believe.
We talked about it last time.
And I want people to have something that they can enjoy without feeling bad.
No, I think that's great. How many carbs are in that?
6 grams of carbs.
Okay.
There's fiber, so net carbs are even lower
Okay.
because you do subtract fiber from carbs to get net carbs. Healthy fats, coconut oil.
Okay.
We can go into that.
Yeah.
Protein. I have varieties that are completely gluten-free. I also make a vegan variety.
Okay.
They're called
That's
Love
great.
Bites. All of these could be found on dietdivadelights.com. I now make a protein cookie that I was going to bring, but I sold out. And
I think that's great.
Amazing. So,
do you have any final takeaways for our viewers?
You know, I think that following a diet that you can sustain is the most important. And I want to caution viewers, the most difficult part is not losing the weight, it's actually keeping it off.
Yeah.
So yes, you might have great success in losing that weight, whatever diet you choose, and you feel great, but it's keeping it off. And that's where you have to really stick to it for a long period of time to make that your new set point, and that's where difficulty comes in.
Thank you so much, Unni. Thanks for coming on the show. Be sure to visit us next time on the Health Channel. All health, all the time on South Florida PBS. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at All Health TV, where you can get health tips from our experts and see what's coming up next on the Health Channel. You can also watch the show live on allhealthtv.com and watch videos from previous episodes. I'm Dr. Derek Papp. See you next time.